Our fourth stage in New Zealand takes us to the north and west of the South Island. We cycle from Picton via Nelson to Abel Tasman Bay and then on to Westport. Then we continue along the coast and the West Coast Wilderness Trail to Fox Glacier. After a 3.5-hour crossing from Wellington across Cook Strait and through the beautiful Queen Charlotte Sound, we arrive in Picton. We spend the night in a caravan and start our tour the following morning. We're really excited about what awaits us on the South Island. Everyone we asked said it's much more beautiful than the North Island. And lo and behold, after an hour's drive, we arrive at this bay.
Im Paradies angekommen.
Just half an hour later, the next bay. Each one is as beautiful as the last. Who has the prettiest or funniest mailbox? We approach Havelock, which calls itself the green-lipped mussel capital of the world. After lunch, we continue a little further to the campground at the Pelorus Bridge. From here to Nelson, there's not much to report, except headwinds, lots of wood trucks, and a few llamas. In Nelson, we spent the night with a Warm Showers host who accompanies us part of the way the next morning. We take the route via Rabbit Island and take the ferry to Mapua at the end. On the way to Motueka, our destination for today, we take another dry rest in the garden of the Chester House Cafe. After that, it starts to rain and the next day is completely ruined. Due to the bad weather, we decide to drive to Kaiteriteri and explore the coast from there on a boat tour instead of hiking through Abel Tasman National Park. Fortunately, the weather isn't so bad when we set off. First, we pass Split Apple Rock. And then we continue along the coast from one bay to the next. It's deserted here now, but in summer everything will be full of tourists. However, the weather is now getting worse. Even though it's not really nice the next day, we want to continue south along the Motueka River. For lunch, we have typical New Zealand food. We reach our destination for the day, Queenie's Bush Camp, south of Tapawera, in the afternoon. We rent a cabin there because it's supposed to be very cold at night, so we still have time for a walk to the sheeps and along the river. In the morning, we meet another cyclist at the campsite. He sets off before us, but we meet him again shortly before lunch and we cycle together for a few days. We follow the Buller River, occasionally crossing it. We voluntarily crossed the Buller Gorge Swing Bridge and even paid the entrance fee. At 110 meters long, it's the longest suspension bridge in New Zealand. Sometimes we cross smaller inflows. On our way to the west coast, we stay overnight in Murchison and Berlins. That was worth a sticker. One rainy day off in Westport, and now we're heading along the west coast, which is also called the wet coast here. Our destination for the day is the campground at Pancake Rocks, but there are also a few things to see along the way. We take a lunch break at this bay. Shortly after we set off again, the weather is getting worse.
Heute ist nicht einer der schönsten Tage. Es ist kalt, es ist windig, es ist nass.
Actually, a really beautiful route, if only the weather would be better. A little later, the sun comes out again. The next day, right after breakfast, we visit the Pancake Rocks. Then we continue south along the coast. It's quite a climb and a descent. Today we're covering 700 meters of elevation on a distance of 73 kilometers. The West Coast Wilderness Trail begins in Greymouth, taking us from the coast inland to Kumara and back to the coast near Hokitika. We spent the night at the Greenstone Retreat, a lovely accommodation whose garden is currently in bloom. Today we're driving along the West Coast Wilderness Trail from Kumara to Hokitika. In the background you can see the Franz Josef Glacier.
Schöner geht's nicht. Nur wärmer. Zauberwald.
The West Coast Wilderness Trail is really beautiful. It looks like you're driving through a huge botanical garden. We don't know why it's called Cowboy Paradise, but for us it's an ideal place for lunch. Every year there's a competition in Hokitika to see who can create the most beautiful sculpture using beach finds, especially driftwood. Today we are still on the West Coast Wilderness Trail and we only drive from Hokitika to Ross because it's raining. But we said we do it anyway, that's just 30 kilometers. After a night in the container home on the beach near Ross, we head to Harihari. There are only the really important things there, but not much else. Sleep for one night and move on. There's a deer in Wataroa, but unfortunately not for eating. When we arrive in Franz Josef, it starts to rain, and we see a huge riverbed with little water. It rains harder and harder, and we have a hot pool right in front of our apartment. We spent most of the next 2 days in this pool, because the rain doesn't stop. It's pouring down. It's the heaviest rainfall here in 45 years. After 2 days, we want to drive to Fox Glacier despite the rain. It's only 32 kilometers. On the way, we're stopped by the road patrol and have to go back to Franz Josef. Fortunately, the rain eases overnight and we can finally continue the next day. We already drove this road yesterday. However, it looked completely different. Everything was flooded and it was pouring with rain, just like it had been for the previous 48 hours. We arrive in Fox Glacier and learn that the road to Haast is impassable and closed for at least a week. So what do we do now? The next morning we first drive through the rainforest and consider our options. Going back by bike or bus and over the Arthurs Pass would take too long and completely change our travel plan. Sandra comes up with an idea. There are more helicopter agencies in Fox than restaurants. Maybe we can fly to Haast by helicopter. So first to the Fox Glacier lookout,
Is it alright if
and then to a helicopter agency and simply ask when that's available and how much it will cost.
Is it alright if
Said, asked and decided. Then we quickly picked up our things from the motel, disassembled the bikes at the helipad, and 90 minutes later we were in the helicopter and took off for Haast.
leave my pride? Oh, is it alright if I stay? Is it alright if we just
We enjoyed every second, even though it was so crowded and noisy in here.
Is it alright? 'Cause I wish we could just stay. Take our time far behind, leave our pride. Oh, is it alright if we stay?
A fantastic experience. 30 minutes we won't forget.
My mind is that okay? Is it alright if I don't wanna feel obliged in any way? Is it alright if I waste my time and not leave?